This is Garrett Fry, the Shipyard Sequence Lead for 3D Digital Map Painting, and we're looking at shot 0012. So in this shot, if we take a look, it starts over on the left and pans towards the right. So for this, we're going to need to primarily open up this area. So we have this really great canyon feel on this side. However, we don't have the distance that we want in this shot. So cut off from here over. And so these shipping containers should be gone, and you should fill that with more containers as it goes back. So this row right here needs to be extended. So you need to extend what's in the plate and merge your work on top of the plate so that it's seamless, and then add additional rows back into space. And you want to have a nice composition. At some point, maybe you'll have this side of the shipping container start to poke in, but we're really looking that way along this side. So most of it will be we're seeing on this side, and it can open up back here with more and more shipping containers. So that makes for potentially hundreds of shipping containers that you could be doing if that's in CG or in Photoshop. If you're doing it in CG, then you're going to want, for these far back ones, you're going to want to use the level of detail C and B, mostly C maybe, and see if that works back there. Because if you're putting hundreds of shipping containers back there, then it could bog down your render time quite a bit. So make sure that you're efficient with the way that you're laying these out. And the ones, of course, that are farthest away from camera are the ones that can be the lowest level of detail. The ones in the foreground, we're going to want to make sure those are really nice. So open up this area back here, make it look really nice. Also, this sky is quite a bit blown out, so and we want something back there that's a bit more interesting. Make it really soft, and it can have this kind of like higher, slightly blown out feel to it, but not so extreme as this. And I think you can do that with that sky without breaking the environment. So put in a different sky and make it look nice. Also, what we're going to need to do is put in right here. We're going to need to put in 2 more shipping containers. So one here and one here, and these are going to be more of those hero shipping containers that we're going to see really close to frame. So if you're using the 3D asset, you're going to want to use the LOD A. If you're using photography, then you'll want to just make sure you're using that really nice high-res photography that's provided to put something in that spot. But you need to make sure, if you're just using Photoshop, that you are aligning with the perspective. And if you're using CG, then you need to either make sure that you have aligned the perspective up perfectly for this shot, or you do the render and then you tweak the renders afterwards so that the perspective matches with the plate, and then you do a paint over on top. So there's several different options of how you can approach this. It's a bit open-ended, and it doesn't really matter how you approach it. It just matters that the shot looks awesome. So however you go about it, that would be great. Before you jump into these shots, it's a good idea to familiarize yourself with the resources you have available to you. Decide if you're going to use an environment TD, a matte painting, or a matte painting generalist approach. There are 3 sets of shipping container photos and a bunch of images for texturing. Also, make sure you take advantage of the high-resolution shipping container assets with 3 different level of detail models.